Hey everybody, talking socs. This is describing distributions. This is going to be a fairly intense video, but it's super important. So socs stands for shape, outliers and unusual features, center, and spread. That's the core of it. Those four words. The rest of the stuff here is just details. The other thing you need to always do with socs is context. You must talk about what the situation is that you're in. So shape, first thing. Here's the different shapes you will see in a histogram. And box plots you can't tell a shape very accurately, so the AP test does not hold you to that, although there's some we can talk about it later if we need, but I'm not going to right now. So mound shaped, skew right. I always remember the tail points to the direction of the skew, so skew left, it's like the tail of the graph points left. Uniform means they're kind of all the same. Bimodal means there's two sections. Bi like bicycle. Uniform, like uniforms make people all look the same. So pause here. You can put this in the notes if you want, or you just like pause it and study it if you ever need to. Going back to socs. Outliers and unusual features. You can use your outlier rule to determine outliers, but usually it's just, is there an obvious outlier? Is there one point that's way the heck far away? If there is, you could call it an outlier. Center, you use either mean or median. Median typically goes with a box plot, and if you can use like the cross-off method to find it. I'll do that later in the future. Mean is if you have a statistical calculator and you want to or you just add them all up, divide by how many, you'll get that. Spread, there's four measures of spread that we will talk about. Standard deviation goes with mean. I wouldn't use it unless the problem gives it to you, but it works really well with mean. Variance is just standard deviation squared. It's not what we use most often, but the word will just show up here and there throughout the quarter. IQR is for box plots, and range is your backup plan. If you have none of these other things, just take the highest minus the lowest and find the range. Use context. If you're comparing two distributions, you must compare all four aspects of socs and in context. So if I'm comparing these two, I have to actually talk about, well, I can't do shape because it's box plot, but I have to talk about outliers, center, and spread for each of them and compare them. Second period's median test score was 85, which is higher than first period's median test score, which is 80. You must use comparing words also, like higher or lower or the same or similar. You can't just say what the two numbers are and then just call it good. So use comparing words and numbers to support what you're saying. That's really, really important. So I'll show you some examples of just wherever they are. I'll find them eventually. Here they are. Here's two examples. I'm just going to show them one at a time and talk about my answer. So in this example, the stem and leaf plot, I found my mean, or my median, was this 15.7. I did the cross-off method, cross lowest and highest off until I found the median. And then I just took the highest minus the lowest for range and got 6.1. So the way I would write this, notice I addressed context and all four things. Shape, the shape of the running times is mound shaped. There are no obvious outliers, there's outliers. Median running time is 15.7 seconds. Check it out. Context, talked about running times, talked about seconds. It's a big deal. The range of the running times is 6.1 seconds. You actually will get marked off if you don't use context. The AP test will do the same thing. So this is a description of this mound-shaped distribution for seven leaf plots there. Here's a dot plot. I also did the cross-off method here and found the median to be 5. And I did range, 12 minus 0 to get the range. So I'm going to point out a couple of things as I talk about this as well. The distribution of minutes to eat breakfast is bimodal shaped. Context. Talked about shape. Great. There are no obvious outliers. Check. But there is a big gap between 5 and 8 minutes. Why did I talk about that? Well, because outliers, the O stands for outliers and unusual features. Got to do both. The median amount of time it takes to eat breakfast. Hey, look, again, amount of time it takes to eat breakfast. Like context, 5 minutes. I found that was somewhere in here. And then the range of the minutes to eat breakfast is 12. highest minus lowest. Gotcha. So that's that. I have not done a comparison example. I may add one in later, but it's really, all that matters with comparing is if I am comparing two dot plots or something, they must have the same scale, and you use comparing words. If I'm comparing these two box plots, if I was doing center, like I said before, second period has a test score of 85, which is higher, comparing word, than first period, which is 80, has a median of 8. Alright, that's the socs video. See you guys later.